Welcome into the March Madness version of the Be Legendary podcast. Guess who's back again. Beamer's back. Man, just tell a friend. That's the best thing y'all can do. Thank you for checking out the episode. Appreciate all the love and support and the feedback I've been getting from each one of you. So today, being March Madness, it's that time of year, I started thinking about the bracket. I put up a post on my Instagram. If you're not following me, at LegendaryBeamer, make sure you do, because we're going to start doing a daily daily content, daily tips, as well as daily poll questions. Hopefully some are funny, some are a little more serious, but all around, going to get some more interaction with y'all. So I put up a post, a bracket. About 70% of people had a bracket, and I think everybody's is completely busted right now. And it got me thinking, because when you do a bracket, did you know the odds of getting a perfect bracket are 1 in 9 quintillion? 1 in 9 quintillion. I don't even know what quintillion means. It's just a lot. So the most reasonable chance that some college professor found would be 1 in 128 billion. So anywhere between the two, which is a lot. So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, and it's funny because most of you will do a bracket and will take a swing at something that's not even close to having odds of winning. Or you'll go to the grocery store or the gas station and do scratchers or put in for the lotto, or go to Vegas and spend a lot of money gambling with their crazy odds, right? Things you know you're not going to win. You're spending more time and energy on that than your own goal. I mean, your vision and your goal could be 1 out of 10 of hitting it. It could be 1 out of 100. It could be 1 out of 2. It could be 1 of 1. But you're not going to know unless you go for it. And I think about the upset of UMBC over Virginia, the first ever number 16 seed to beat a 1 seed. And you think about what it takes to have an upset. The question's always asked, did the team lose this or did the other team win it? And there's always a combination of both. But thinking of that upset as well as Nevada, they had 2 come from behind wins. And at the end of the second game, they interviewed their coach when they won over Cincinnati. Literally were losing the whole game, came back and won. And they asked the coach, what's the difference? He says, we're making sure that we're like the most conditioned. We're making sure that we're the most mentally tough. So when we get into these situations, we know we'll come out on top. And that's what happened. We wore them down. And that's the same about life. I think it's funny because a lot of people are trying to focus on maybe what they're not good at instead of doubling, tripling down on something that they are. And that's something Gary Vaynerchuk talks a lot about, is triple down on what you're good at. But I think to be successful and to be able to make it through life, you got to be mentally strong. I'll give you an example. After the first episode, I didn't know if I could do the second one. Fear, anxiety set in. Also, we got some Be Legendary business cards. Hopefully you'll see them floating around. Gmail is spelled wrong, and it's not Gmale, which would be cool. It's Gamel, right? And so, okay, well, I'm not going to pass these out. It's like, no, I'm going to pass these out. It gives me an actually extra talking point. Hey, don't worry. I'm really not dyslexic. I'm not. I don't think so. Anyways, it's something they're going to remember because this is completely different. And so I could either pout about it, go back to Vistaprint, order new ones, or just say, hey, we're going to roll with it. And that's what we're doing here at Be Legendary. And to kind of wrap up what it means to be legendary, I've gotten this a lot, and I know I've given little teasers, a little here, a little there. It means to be your best self. And that's what's really important at the end of the day. I don't care what religion you subscribe to or your beliefs or your thoughts. A fact of the matter is, physically, we're all going to die at some point. And what drives me, and if you think about the greats, whether it's Tom Brady, whether it's Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, the elite of the elite, they're competing against themselves. And that's all they're worried about. Because just like the teams Virginia and Cincinnati and Xavier, chances are they were worried about the other team and just scoring more points than the other team instead of playing to their best level. Because what happens, and it's natural in life, you get some success, you're up by 20 points, and you take your foot off the gas. And that's when, you can be humbled and reminded that, hey, life is consistency, and it's more about being consistent than it is about these peaks and valleys. And that's what the Power List was designed for. If you didn't check Mambo number 5, the last episode, that's what it's all about. It's about consistency, doing the little things every single day to make sure you're going to be successful at whatever success is to you. And so as you're going through life, it's important to be mentally tough. And that it is true. It's not what happens to you. It's how you react. It's not the cards you were dealt. It's how you play them. And in the past, those have seemed like corny little statements, but it's so, so true. In your life, there's going to be times when you're up by 20 points. There's going to be times when you're down by 20 points. The difference is, are you competing against somebody else or the other team, or are you just competing to be your best self? Because at the end of life, I think realistically that's what most religions, if you think about the bigger picture, what they're trying to get is the best part of you out of you. And when you're running this race we call life, at the end of the day, I want to be able to stand in front of my maker or whoever that is, hopefully see my best self, and that we're not strangers. That maybe we're more alike than I ever would have thought, or maybe we're identical twins. That is success. That is what Be Legendary is about. It's about being your best self, centering in your heart, centering in your soul, and bringing the best out of you. And that's all this is. And I finished a book. I've read it and listened to it a few times by William H. McRaven, and it's called Make Your Bed Doing the Little Things. And it talks about making your bed, and also in the military when they're going through training, they're going through Hell Week. And they're off the shores of San Diego, between San Diego and Tijuana, and they're in these mud sloughs where they're up to their neck in mud. You've probably seen the commercials or seen the snippets from movies, and all the generals tell them is, hey, if 5 of you quit, you can all be done. You can all come back, have coffee, have chili, have food, whatever. And, none of them quit. He talks about the story where they all wanted to quit, and a few people looked like they were, but one soldier started singing. And it was off tune, and it wasn't very good, but then 2 or 3 started singing, then 4 or 5. Then by the end of it, the whole group was singing, and, their commanding officers were saying, hey, if you don't stop singing, you're going to spend more time in the mud. But he said it showed him that all it took was one person in the mud singing. And that's you. That's me. That's why I'm doing this podcast. And lastly, he talked about in the military, Navy SEALs, Marines, that there's a bell in the middle of the big concourse of the whole compound. And all you have to do to stop waking up at 5 a.m., to stop running every single day, to stop laying in the mud, to stop all of this is ring the bell, and you're done. You ring the bell, you quit. And so I'll say the same thing with you in life. It's really easy to ring the bell. Ring the bell. You can go be overweight. Ring the bell. You can go take a regular job living check to check. Ring the bell. You can run up your credit cards to have maximum debt. Ring the bell and just give up. Or don't. Don't ever ring the bell. If you don't ring the bell, you have a shot. And it's a lot better shot than your March Madness bracket that's broken. So don't give up. Thank you for tuning in. Check us out, youtube.com/AndreAndersonAz. Please, please, please subscribe. All I ask is you share this with a family member or a friend, personally through text. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Like I said, we're going to start doing poll questions. We're going to start making it more interactive for all of you guys. So thanks for tuning in. And don't ever, ever, ever ring the bell.
You think about ringing that bell? Don't think, move! Come on, somebody ring that bell for me, please. You can be home curled up in your butt in less than 4 hours. Ring that bell!